तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। वंदे गुरोर्मंडलम। शिवोहम। Swar Yoga is ancient secret wisdom that helps attain worldly success, and also it takes the sadhak to the pinnacle of spiritual growth. The uniqueness of Swar Yoga is that while a sadhak learns to apply its rules on the worldly plane, in parallel the processes of sadhana elevate the person spiritually. Mostly people miss the point that the failures, disease, lack of happiness in one's worldly interactions and pursuits retards the spiritual ascension. Lord Shiva, the revealer of Swar Yoga, has clearly seen this interdependency and thus gives out a process which ensures a practitioner's holistic growth. But Gurudev used to say that it is entirely on the sadhak that where he keeps the focus during the journey. Because more often than not, sadhaks are lost in the grandeur of the material success and siddhis. I hope you shall remember these words and keep the focus on the ultimate goal of Swar Yoga, recognition of ultimate tattva, the Shiv tattva in yourself. Today we will be taking the 100th verse, which is a very interesting verse as it is a sadhana in itself. The 100th verse states, Chandrachare vishhate suryo balivansh nayet sushumnayam bhaven moksha eko devas tridhastitah. It means active lunar swar removes poison, active solar swar brings the powerful under control, and Sushumna gives liberation. In this way, one God has three forms. The verse seems quite simple when you read it and its meaning is quite clear. But what do the terms Vish and Bali indicate here? First, we should understand that Vish means poison. Poison is something that is harmful and can have adverse effects on our physical and mental states. There are some kriyas in which a tantric removes poison from the body of a person. In this case, the nadi of the victim should be lunar for easy removal of poison. Well, here we are not dealing with that. Poisons are our own negative attitudes, states of mind, emotions and desires that draw us to bhog or indulgence. These tendencies are destroying our body and mind. I remember in Ashtavakra Gita, when King Janak asks sage Ashtavakra, Katham jnanam vapnoti कथम मुक्तिर भविष्यति वैराग्य च कथम प्राप्तम एतद ब्रूहि मम प्रभो. Means how knowledge is attained, how liberation is attained, and how non-attachment is attained. Please tell me all this. Then Ashtavakra replies, Mukti michchasi chetat vishayana vishwatyaj. If you wish to attain liberation, give up the passions, the desires for sense objects as poison. In the second half of this shlok, he further says, practice forgiveness, simplicity, compassion, contentment and truth. These are the nectars. Shamarjavad daya tosha satyam piyush vatbhaj. There are said to be 6 enemies of our spiritual growth, known as Shadripus. They are Kam, lust, Krodh, anger, Lobh, greed, Moh, delusion, Mad, arrogance, and Matsarya, jealousy. These 6 seem to be different, but they all rise from Kam, which is passion or desires for bhog. Kam, when unfulfilled, becomes Krodh. When fulfilled, becomes Lobh. The sense of doership or karta bhav is that illusion which comes with fulfillment of a desire. A person whose desires gets fulfilled gets sullied with arrogance and tendency of comparison that leads to jealousy. So Vishayana Vishwatyaj is correct, because these wrong attitudes destroy the peace of your mind. And then diseased mind flushes in poison in the body that accelerate the aging process. Sometimes by Ma Bhagavati's grace, due to company of saints and yogis, satsang, some people do get aware of the presence of these enemies, while others, the unfortunate ones, do not even realize that their restlessness, always hungry, desiring mind is creating a constant stream of poison in their body. They don't understand that it is not only killing them physically, but also the possibility of joyful and peaceful life. The reality is that whether you are aware or not, the enemies are present. It may be possible that all the 6 enemies are not present in full strength, but certainly some of them are breeding within you, and the root cause is your lust for bhog and non-alignment with the cosmic rhythms. When your lunar nadi is active, you are in a more accepting mood. This is when you should sit and contemplate on the words of wise men, and you shall succeed in recognizing and understanding which of the poisons are literally killing you, which of the poisons is hindering your spiritual progress. This understanding can come only when your lunar swar is active. The first step is to contemplate on your state of mind and recognize its vrittis. The next step is to bring the strongest enemy under control. This is to be done when your solar swar is active. Once you have understood that it is that you are not able to win over and is your biggest enemy, you will now begin to eliminate it. The only way to get rid of the poison is to reject it and replace it. As you complete your contemplation with lunar nadi, you will now begin rejecting and killing the enemies with correct understanding. Suppose you infer that you are being constantly attacked by lobh, that is greed. It means that nothing is ever enough for you. It is not only in the sense of material possessions, but you are constantly trying to fill your life with experiences and emotions. In fact, fighting the negative is never yielding. Rather, you should work to bring the positive traits using your sankalp. When your solar nadi is active, it is the apt time to exercise your sankalp to practice what Ashtavakra calls nectars: forgiveness, simplicity, contentment, etc. are those positive attitudes that elevate your consciousness. Now, the new understanding that you will need to bring in this case is that you are complete and fulfilled, and bring gratitude for what you have. Stay with this thought continuously. If you go deeper into this meditation, the Sushumna Nadi starts to flow, and you receive the blessing of Swar by getting rid of your enemy. Staying meditative, alert and unattached during the flow of Sushumna strengthens your positive attitudes that you practiced in your solar swar. I have just shared a brief summary of the process. To bring this into practice, you will need to understand each of the 6 enemies, the root cause of them, their impact on your life, and the right understanding to eliminate them. The depth of just this one verse is such that may take a student lifetime to fully assimilate the learning. The practical practices related to this verse are quite elaborate. Those require in-person presence, and that's why they can be taught only in a retreat type of setting, where a student is available to practice for few days under the guidance of the teacher. We have seen that the swar is one, but it acts as three during this process. It is the one that accepts, rejects, and stabilizes. The swar is equated to God here, because just as gods give us blessings, the swar blesses us with understanding, intellect, peace, and capacity to follow what is needed to elevate us. That's all for today. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I bow down to the divine sitting in your hearts. Shivoham.